Thanksgiving evening. A time for eating good food.
Watching a holiday flick with old Uncle Tony. Maybe even going ahead and setting up the old pine for the winter. A time for leisure together with your family. Right? Wrong. Hey guys, it's me again. Black Friday, the newest of the Western holidays and one that perhaps may be going the way of the dodo, because, let's be honest folks, it ain't the same anymore. You see, Black Friday when I was growing up was a madhouse. Frankly, if you don't mind me quoting Shakespeare here, a shitstorm of sorts. It was a be-all, end-all fiasco to really cement this time of materialistic, capitalistic greed as a joyous occasion. The beginning of the Christmas season, celebrating the birth of Christ with acts of violence. Ah, yes. Just like the Romans. Or Paul. Classic, biblical levels of greed and violence. But amongst all that violence was joy. Pure, unadulterated bliss, induced by deal after deal, sale after sale, punch after punch. It was beautiful. We hear the war stories of TV deals, PS2s for dirt cheap, genuine good memories. It was a day to remember for a lot of folks. But now we have Black Friday beginning 2 weeks ahead of time. Sales online. At this point, Black Friday is more of a month and less of an actual day. Sometimes there's not even deals to be had. Companies start raising prices right before, or don't even mark things down anymore. Just advertise it as a deal, like Walmart's rollback scam. It's just sad. And can I be frank with you? I want the magic back. And so, in spite of the new foundation for the holiday that has been established, I figured it appropriate for us to have a little come to Jesus moment and try to bring it back to the beginning of all of this mess and see if maybe we can find the magic of Black Friday that got lost and find out where it died. Black Friday initially began as a fun little name given to the day after Thanksgiving in a local Philadelphia police department to describe the behavior of the populace following the events of Thanksgiving every year. You see, they noticed a trend in individuals going straight to Christmas shopping in order to get a head start on it in time for the upcoming season, for the next holiday, Christmas. Coining the term Black Friday as in a dark time, a la the Black Death, and other negative connotations. They had already noted the influx of individuals on the road and in stores causing issues, and thus had already started to dread this unofficial holiday.
Oh boy, if only they knew
What was coming soon. Anecdotal evidence amongst police also suggests store managers reportedly tried to swerve it immediately and get them to call it Big Friday, but it didn't stick, obviously. But I'm not being completely honest with you here. There was an even earlier time that the term was used in this context that can be traced to a decade prior, in which some factory managers started to refer to this day as Black Friday because so many of their workers would attempt to extend the holiday weekend by calling in sick on that day in order to spend time with their family or maybe just enjoy a bit of rest and relaxation before returning to work the next week. Think school day, but for beer and football instead of video games and Mountain Dew. Jump 3 decades ahead of the 50s to the 80s, and we see, during the American commercial era, economic boom to end all booms of the modern era. Stores start to use it in a more positive light. Once again, interpolating the term to be used to mean when stores shoot out of the red and into the green, or, as it's known in the finance world, the black, due to the huge volume of holiday spending on that day. This wasn't really capitalized in the way we know and love today until we hit the 2000s. Beginning in the early 2000s, we saw complete change in behavior on this day. No longer was it just a trend with a little extra pressure and preparation for the department store workers. No. Instead, it was the marketing itself. The day had become so well known that all they had to do was take it, make it their own, and market it as a product itself. And so they did. And the best way to do it? Take commodities that were becoming a necessity moving into the digital age and make them, yes, affordable. What? Minions say what? Minions say what? Minions say what? Those newfangled flat screen TVs you pay a factory in China to make for $50? Boom, 200, no longer 4, baby. DVD players, boom, affordable. The newfangled PS2, boom, free game, baby. It was a time to behold, folks, a time to behold. This is where the magical mythos of the time really grew into being, and it's all thanks in part even further into the 2000s, and a fun little thing we like to say, everyone say it with me now, economic insecurity. Moving into the late 2000s, the time of the digital age was in full swing, and with a housing market crash, worldwide economic crashes, and the US specifically going on a downward spiral, people were desperate to uphold their lavish lifestyle they come to expect from the last couple of decades. So, companies like Walmart and others who were in fear of being back in the red this time of year and losing a penny of their dollar, pushed for more and more and more deals, and provided the people with even more to spend their money on. And the people loved it! Stores started opening up early in the morning, closing later, rolling out deals as the day went on. Some stores would even sell out of their deals before the sun even rose. Some began opening up at 12 a.m., technically Friday, but really just a late Thanksgiving evening, if you really think about it. Moving later into the 2010s, we got Thursday Black Friday deals, where the best deals were saved for the next morning, but they had lesser impact deals just waiting on shelves for customers starting at like 8 p.m. on Thanksgiving evening. And well, that's how it's gone ever since. Add in the 2-week head start and online deals ahead of time, and you have the modern evolution of Black Friday, people. But here's the downside to all of this. And if you're like me and someone who grew up in the 2000s, you know Black Friday was associated with dark times, harkening back to its 60s name. These deals were so outrageously good at the time, and people were reaching points of economic insecurity so severe, they would do almost anything to give the Christmas of their dreams to their children or themselves. And just like everything else in this world, it had a price. A good deal of people lost their lives during Black Friday. Others got hurt. And while it's nowhere near a large-scale tragedy, nobody should die for a bunch of people to get TVs. It's one of those moments where I think we should all reflect a little bit and think of it as what it is. Monkey see banana, monkey want banana, monkey take banana, even if it mean other monkey get hurt. We're a bit above that, right? Like, sure, we got Genshin Impact players, but like, besides them, we're a little bit above that, right? Well, I would say most agree. And so, after those tragedies had occurred, and the decades of bad press compiling on one another, people stopped wanting to go out and try it. People stopped wanting Black Friday, until eventually people came back around to the idea. Seeing it had died down, but by that point, just like every other trend, it was kind of dead in the water already. The companies stopped making as much, and so here we are now, with them extending it to 2 weeks prior sometimes, diluting the holiday so far as to not even be close to what it originally was. And let's be honest, let's call a spade here. It was a manipulation of the people in a capitalistic society, and still is. It's them seeing us as numbers and maxing out their profits by losing a little bit here and there. It's FOMO, it's perspective. It's not even a day anymore. It's the time period in and of itself. But also, used to be cool. Yep, this entire time I have been talking about facts, about the negatives, about the TV stampades, the 2 a.m. cold waits, the capitalistic manipulation. But, to be honest, it was kind of fun. I got into the whole thing late. My family was on the, it's a mess for idiots who have no self-respect, and we're not gonna subject ourselves to stooping that low. We're fine with our CRTVs in 2011 kind of thing. It wasn't until my cousin, sometime in the mid-2010s, finally convinced her parents that I got to tag along. Oh boy, was I excited. I saved up money pretty well as a child and teenager, and I went absolutely bonkers on Black Friday. A game or two for myself, gifts for the parents, freedom to explore the store in a Last of Us format, rushing to the back in order to grab one of the 10 copies of the game on sale for dirt cheap. The deals were good. The atmosphere was exciting, electric even, and it felt like an actual event. And for a preteen or teenager who wanted to get nice things for their parents on a shoestring budget, it worked. Heck, it still kind of works, but instead of it being like a ha, I got it in time kind of thing, it's more like a ah, I got it within the 72-hour window that it was available kind of thing. It's good we've gotten safe. We don't need people dying over some TV that will be eventually outdated next year when they try to add the new Jennifer Lawrence AI chatbot feature or whatever to it. But it's this over-marketing that has just driven it straight to a plummet towards mediocrity. It's like anything else good in a capitalistic society. Great for about 10 years and then mid AF. So, where did we go wrong? That's right, we. Because the answer lies in us. We asked for more available deals. We asked for it to be safer. And that's what we got. Because it's what we wanted. It's what we needed. But that's also where the magic died, I think. But maybe, just maybe also, the magic died somewhere else. Somewhere outside of us. Outside of the FOMO. Outside of the tragedy. Outside of the trend. Maybe the blame is on the corporations, their greed, their oversaturation of the market by not having 1 or 2 deals, but hundreds, thousands on one day with microscopic price differences instead of exciting cuts. Well, yeah, actually, I would say that's pretty fair too. But maybe, just maybe, the blame for the magic being lost could also be attributed rather to a different holiday. And I'm not talking red and white festive. I'm talking zeros and ones festive. Maybe the real era the magic died in was the digital age, the technological age, the internet age. Maybe it's all thanks to he's right behind me, isn't he?